Hello everyone! Welcome to another learning episode of my video. So for today's video, please bear with me as we are going to talk about bacteria.
Bacteria are prokaryotic cells that plays an important role in human disease and health. They can cause disease, but they are also play part of the human microbiota. They live in our skin, body, and in everyday objects in our environment. When compared to eukaryotic cells, the structure of the bacteria is less complex due to the lack of nucleus and membrane-bound organelles such as mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, and Golgi complexes. Bacterial cells are often surrounded by several layers which are collectively called the cell envelope. Let's start with the cell wall. Cell wall is found on the outer surface of the cell membrane. Its most important role is to protect the bacteria. It consists of peptidoglycan, which usually help differentiate whether the bacteria are gram-positive or gram-negative. Gram-positive bacteria have a single thick layer of peptidoglycan above the plasma membrane, which allows them to retain their staining dye. And gram-negative bacteria have a thinner layer of peptidoglycan sandwiched between the surface membrane and the plasma membrane, so they can't retain the dye. Additionally, the cell wall helps maintain their shape. The round-shaped bacteria are called cocci. Rod-shaped ones are called bacilli. Spiral-shaped ones are called spirilla. And sometimes, the same bacteria can have multiple forms, in which case they are called pleomorphic. Some bacteria are covered by a capsule which acts as a shield that protects the bacteria against phagocytosis. And also, it helps the bacteria adhere the surfaces. The capsule is considered an important virulence factor since the strains that lack a capsule are less virulent. Underneath the bacterial cell wall, here's the plasma membrane, which is the most important layer because it encloses the cytoplasm, which is a gel-like substance composed mainly of water and also contains cell component enzymes and various organic molecules. If the plasma membrane is removed, the cell contents spill into the environment and the cell no longer exists. The plasma membrane is responsible for most of the cell's relationship with the outside world, by acquiring nutrients and eliminating waste, and also maintain the interior of the bacteria in a constant, highly recognized state. Usually, all plasma membranes are selectively permeable barriers which allow certain ions and molecules to pass in and out of the cell, while preventing the movement of others. However, in bacteria, the plasma membrane has other important roles such as respiration, photosynthesis, and synthesis of lipids and cell wall components. In the bacterial cytoplasm, there are scattered cell components such as ribosomes, which are the site of protein synthesis. These ribosomes can be found spread out all over the cytoplasm, where they produce proteins that are destined to remain inside the cell, or they can be attached to the plasma membrane, and they are called plasma membrane associated ribosomes. In this case, they make proteins that will reside in the cell envelope or get transported outside the cell. Another structure found in the cytoplasm is the nucleoid, which is an irregularly shaped region that contains the cell chromosomes. The chromosomes of most bacteria are single circle of double-stranded DNA, but some bacteria can have a linear chromosomes, while others can have more than one chromosomes. And these chromosomes contains the gene needed to provide instructions for protein synthesis in the cell. Additionally, to the genetic material content within the nucleoid, many bacteria contains extra chromosomal DNA molecules called plasmids. These plasmids are small double-stranded DNA molecules that can exist independently. Genes and their genetic information are not essential to the bacteria, and cells that lack them usually function normally. However, plasmids often contains genes that confer a selective advantage to the bacterium, such as resistance to antibiotics. Finally, the bacteria can move to or attach to other cells and surfaces with the help of structures that can be found on their external surfaces called villi, which are hair-like structure that allows them to attach to other cells, and when they are shorter, they are called fimbriae. This helps the bacteria attach to surfaces. They can also have flagella, which are long whip-like proportions that allows the bacteria to move. So in this time, let us talk about how bacteria causes illnesses to humans. Bacteria can cause disease in humans since they are single-celled organisms. They cause disease by entering the body, multiplying, and releasing toxins that damage cells. There are a number of diseases in humans that are caused by bacteria. So let us go first with Salmonella. This is a type of food poisoning caused by Salmonella bacteria, which cause fever, abdominal cramps, vomiting, and diarrhea due to the toxins the bacteria release. Catching Salmonella can be avoided by practicing good kitchen hygiene. Chicken should always be cooked all the way through to kill any salmonella bacteria that are lurking in the meat. Also, it is important to keep raw meat and foods that are to be eaten raw, like salads, separate, and to wash your hands after handling raw meat. Another infectious disease caused by bacteria is gonorrhea. This is a sexually transmitted disease, or STD for short. It is passed from person to person by sexual contact. The early symptoms include the thick yellow and green discharge from the vagina or penis and pain on urination. The symptoms became less obvious in the later stage of illness, so it can go undetected. Unfortunately, untreated gonorrhea can cause long-term pelvic pain and infertility. This is why it is very important to check by a doctor as soon as the person gets symptoms so it can be treated with a course of antibiotics. Its spread is reduced by using a barrier method contraception such as condoms. Tuberculosis, or TB for short, is a bacterial infection that mainly affects the lungs. It is spread by breathing in tiny droplets of cough or sneezes of an infected person or animals. Symptoms of TB includes a persistent cough, which may bring up blood, fever, tiredness, and swelling in the neck. TB is a serious condition, but it can be cured if it's treated with the right antibiotics. The number of cases of TB in many countries has been reduced by the use of vaccination. Another bacteria-causing illnesses are stomach ulcer. A burning pain in the stomach could be a sign of a stomach ulcer. These are open sore on the stomach lining. It used to be thought that stomach ulcer were caused by a stomach producing too much acid brought on by eating spicy or stress. But we all know that in the fact they can be caused by an infection with Helicobacter pylori bacteria. The discovery was made in 2005 by two researchers to provide evidence. One of the scientists infected himself with the bacteria to prove that a cause of stomach ulcer. Okay, so those are the few examples of when bacteria cause illnesses to humans. But don't be fooled into thinking that all bacteria are bad. So in fact, there are lots of bacteria that are important to our survival. So we have billions inside our digestive systems that help us break down different foods.
And that would be the end of my video for today. I hope that you learned something in this video. Bye everyone!